Working with what you have has a question about shoots that took longer than we thought. During Mythbusters, myth took the longest to film? I'm pretty sure that Rolling Stone Gathers No Moss took 6 months. Was that the longest? Or did one take longer? So how long a story takes has several answers. Like for Lead Balloon, that story took 2 years to come to fruition from the moment we pitched it and Jamie angrily, begrudgingly agreed that we would do that episode. Then we contracted with 2 different factories over production schedules to make the lead we needed. Both factories failed at the last minute, so we had a shoot planned for Lead Balloon that we had to scrap. And then, so that's one way that a story takes a long time to tell. The physical execution of Lead Balloon still took under 2 weeks, like most stories. Rolling Stone Gathers No Moss did take, I think, at least 6 months. It was a difficult experimental rig, and I remember that they got real tired of it over there at M7. The other team got real tired of that thing never stopping. No, the longest myth that Jamie and I worked on was bamboo torture. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying the word torture in relation to a piece of media I helped create a couple decades ago. Because just dealing with torture in any way is the antithesis of subject matter for television, the kind of show we were making. Stipulated, I'll move on to bamboo torture. The idea is that bamboo grows so fast that you could strap someone over a bamboo plant and it would grow through them. Bamboo famously grows incredibly fast. One of the fastest growing things in the world, plants, trees, some category like that. Bamboo is totally mysterious. There are breeds of bamboo that flower on the same day all across the world, and we don't know the mechanism. Bamboo is awesome. We did a lot of research on it. We got a lot of different kinds of bamboo, and over the course of well over a year and a couple of months at least, we killed many, many, many varieties of bamboo. We ended up building a greenhouse on the roof of M5, and it just was like every time we re-engaged with that story, it's like we killed another piece of bamboo, or our ballistics gel dummy has started to melt in the sun, or it's gotten rotted, or some forest creature has found it and eaten part of our experiment. All of those things happen doing Can Bamboo Grow Through You? And it's not like I would when I would outline a Mythbusters story, I would outline it like a comedian writes a joke. So I start with the punchline. I start with where I'm going to land. And for me, the punchline is always, what is the final experiment? What is the absurd thing that if I can show you 5 frames of it, you're going to be like, oh, I got to see what that is, and I'm just going to stick around. That's when the final joke is super absurd and funny. Jamie and I water skiing behind an excavator. Everything before that is easy, right? Because it's just about it's like a comedian, right? I'm keeping the premises of the joke aloft. I'm trying to keep it aloft and not lose your interest. The second I've lost your interest, we're done. But I'm trying to keep your interest so that I can hit you right in the solar plexus with the punchline, with that final image. Lead balloon, right? For Lead Balloon specifically, I knew that I wanted a spherical balloon, and that's what took the longest time for me to engineer. Was that so? With the Mythbusters episode, like I said, I would write to the final experiment or the final high-speed shot, the one that's going to show the awesome, right? The shark exploding, the tank in the shark's mouth kind of thing. And with bamboo growing through a person, we know what that final shot looks like. It's not that complicated. It's like a clear ballistic shell body and bamboo coming up through. And it just was such an awful grind to continue to kill varieties of bamboo trying to get there. Because it's like we're trying to create these sort of ludicrously idealized conditions. Like bamboo can grow and it grows really fast, but it still needs nutrients and the right amount of sun and the right amount of humidity and the right temperatures and all of that. Now, without a doubt, bamboo took longer, I think, than any other experiment in the physical execution of it, with With talking to plants being a close second, I know that one went through a bunch of iterations in the same greenhouse up on the roof. Millennial Midlife Crisis, terrific username. Millennial Midlife Crisis wants to know what I think about the current state of educational entertainment on television. Back when Mythbusters was around, it felt like a lot of TV channels like Discovery, History, etc. had a dual purpose, to inform and to entertain. It felt like a golden age. I agree with you. Now it feels like it's all drama and competition. I agree with you there too. Do you think there will ever be a resurgence of shows like Mythbusters? I know they just follow the money, but still a guy could hope. Well, there is a resurgence of shows like Mythbusters. And it's just not on television, right? Like, Veritasium brought me out to one of their shoots a few years ago when they were dropping pennies from a helicopter. And because we had done penny drop on Mythbusters, first Derek called me to consult about it with his team, and then they asked to bring me out. Would I be part of the video? And I said, absolutely. A few months ago, Mark Rober asked me to come over to the Maritime Museum because they were doing a story about the Alcatraz escape. And I feel like our Alcatraz episode is one of the best ones we ever did. And I came back to the shop after the shoot at the Maritime Museum with Mark Rober, and I said to Norm, you know, I realize that eventually YouTubers will recreate every experiment we did in the Mythbusters canon. And not just like experimental physicists, just like retesting the stuff we did, but coming up with new questions, new ideas, new angles to experiment from, new details that might have shown up since we made our attack on that subject. And I'm really grateful. Like, YouTube, nothing has surprised me more about being in media than YouTube. Right? I grew up on television. I grew up with my dad making animated interstitials for Sesame Street, so I understood that television was a machine and that there were people and artisans who did the mechanics of that. Later on, I got interested in film, and I got to see people making films, and my friends were film students, and I understood the medium of film and where that fits culturally. Then I had a TV show, and that gave me a really interesting insight. But frankly, of all of those modalities, YouTube has been the one with the most amount of flexibility, it's not to say that it's formless, but YouTube is an output platform that can deliver any size of content that you want. And I love that we make videos on this channel. Some of them are 8 minutes long, some of them are 80, and some of, you know, a couple of the ones we've released for the tested members have been 5 or 6 hours long, and folks have watched all of those. So I think that the current state of educational entertainment on YouTube is excellent. And by the way, I should mention that Diana Cowan, Physics Girl, released her first video in 3 years yesterday, and I exhort you to go watch it. She has had a really difficult time with long COVID. That story is told in detail elsewhere. I won't go over it, but Diana is one of my favorite humans, an incredible science communicator, and it made me so happy to see her talking about neutrinos, which are awesome, yesterday on the channel. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.